don't want me to do that. I said I'm a comedian. I always go for the laugh, and then I hope we can shake hands and be friends later, but I'm going to fuck up your day. And he was like, I don't think you'll do that. I said, I don't think you're listening. I am planning on already fucking up your day. And he was like, man, you've been to Vegas more than any of us. You plan the party, you get the girl. Now, guys, I'm not a stripper guy, but he wanted a stripper for the end of the party. I got him a stripper for the end of the party. But the beginning of the party was for me. And you know what I like? You know what I like way more than strippers? I like weird shit. Like, look, it's one of the reasons I love this city. Because you can see weird if we walked outside right now and you said, hey, do you want to see some weird shit in the alley, but you're gonna need a shield? I'll be like, fuck yeah, let's get a shield. How do I know I don't like it unless I've seen it once? That's my attitude. Let's fucking take a look at everything one time, you know? So I like weird shit. And how weird did I want it? I wanted people walking out of his party like this. What the fuck just happened in there? Like I wanted somebody walking out with a limp holding a turtle. Like why do we have turtles? Like weird. Where did I think I could find that? I went on Craigslist in Vegas, which is so amazing. I have never felt so horny and sad at the same time, though. It was a crazy combination. I'm scrolling through. I'm looking for weird. I don't want sex, I want weird. And then weird jumped off the screen at me. This woman's advertisement was 3 words, plus her phone number. And the 3 words were, I'll wrestle ya. And I was like, fuck yeah, you will. I call her on the phone. What she tells me is that she's 6 foot 250, and that her special skill is that she likes to come to your house, get naked, and toss you around for a little while. And I was like, well, what time can you get here? Like, I hope you're on your way. So she shows up, right? And I open the door, and first of all, it's just me and her. I'm setting up early. And by the way, 6 foot was accurate, 250 not. She's way closer to 300 pounds. And she said, she was like, I didn't want to say 300 on the phone because I don't want to scare you. I was like, listen, we're not hiring you to fit into a bikini. You know what I mean? You could have charged more for 300 pounds. I'm just telling you right now, like you're selling yourself short. You should be saying 300 pounds. Your business is gonna go up, 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 you know? So she's standing at the door and she waves 24 buffalo wings in a foot-long sub in my face. And she goes, you got a room where I could go fuel up before the match? And I was like, first of all, fuck yes I do, right in there. And I said, second of all, you should know that the person you're wrestling today doesn't know there's gonna be a match. So she goes off into her room in this eating room, assuming, right? And I got my buddy out, and he's blindfolded, and we got him on a stool like this, and we gotta blindfold him. I don't want to ruin the surprise. I have a little hole here that I saw earlier, but I have underwear, so yeah. I don't usually wear underwear on stage, but I was walking out, I'm like, it's chilly. Oh, okay. So my buddy's sitting on the stool. And guys, this is low-key why I was so excited to do this to you. My buddy is the straightest, laced, nicest, most pure, genuine guy. So the idea of a bachelor party to him is the he's only been with one woman. He's gonna see other tits. It blows his mind. He's been talking about it for 2 months, which made me want to ruin it even more! Because if he was kind of on it, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to do this. But the fact that he was always talking about it, I'm like, oh, you're making me hard right now just thinking about this. So, guys, shaking. He's so excited. Is she here? I'm like, she's here. And he was like, oh, I'm so excited. And I was like, oh, me too. And he says, I'm ready. And I said, okay. And I call her out. Now, none of my other friends knew what I had planned. So when she walked out of that room naked, collectively, they were like, what the fuck? Right? And as she got closer, I saw that she still had buffalo wing sauce around her. And I was gonna get her a napkin, but I was like, your face is funny. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to leave your face like that. So she stands in front of him, 6 foot, 250. My buddy, 5'8", and if he's 140, he's wearing a lot of clothes. That's all I'm saying. And like no muscle tone, like a woohoo 140, you know what I mean? So, look, the size difference alone, already. I can't tell you how excited I am. If I'm gonna try to give you a visual, all I can tell you is like when you're looking at her body and his, she looked like she could have hit him somewhere on her body. Like that's the size difference, okay? So she's standing there. Oh, by the way, so as she's standing there and my friends start to figure out what's about to happen, they're all standing behind him like this. They were so fucking excited, right? So he's sitting there, and now this, because I like weird shit and shit that I never thought I'd see, this might be my favorite part of the story. I never got to tell it because he was too embarrassed. So he's a straight-laced dude, and I don't know if he was trying to flirt with her or trying to be cute, but when she stood in front of him, and he's had 3 months to plan this, this is what he does. He leans in and he goes, I turned to my friends, I'm like, Tim's a fucking freak. Like, guys, he's been playing, this is what he came up with, right? This is how you can tell he's only dated one woman his entire life. The craziest thing that's ever about to happen to him, this is what he plans out. He goes, then he goes, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell a fine woman. And I was like, man, you're so lucky you found someone to fuck you because that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. And I go, you ready? And he goes, I'm ready. And I said, okay. And I take off his blindfold. And the only word he could get out of his mouth before she ripped him out of his chair was, why? Right? And she yanked him out of the chair, lifted him up in the air, his little feet were dangling in the air. She started to toss him around the room like a rag doll. We were all like, guys, she would jump on top of him and he had to push her fat out of his face to talk to him. She was like, tell her to stop. How long is she gonna be here? I can't breathe. Why does she smell like buffalo wings? Yo, at one point in time, she was straddling him like this, just beating him in the face with her titties, just. Guys, this isn't 5'2", 110-pound, big titties. This is 6 foot, 250, just. Titties. That's how big her titties were. They made that noise through the air. Just. It's like being hit with a tit missile, just, right? Dude had a swollen right eye from titty punches. You never fucking seen that in the history ever, never. And I'll tell you something else. When those tits were hitting his face, you know like in a Rocky movie when he gets punched and his face goes, yeah. Yo, those tits were hitting his face and it was like, yeah. Spit was flying out of his mouth. He was getting battered about, right? And so she gets up and walks over here. My buddy gets up mad and he walks over here. Now this is the part, I never really told you guys why he was so mad. What happened in this little space, the first time they separate, she walks over here, and at this point, my buddy's on the ground like this. And he starts to crawl off of the ground. Now, one little detail that I have never mentioned is that she was undressing him the entire time. So at this point of the night, my man's wearing boxers and one sock. And he starts to crawl off the floor, and she can't resist one last, right? So she just walks over to him, grabs him by the ankle and just, and starts to drag him back to the middle of the floor like a fucking caveman. And as soon as she starts to drag him, my buddy is in full panic mode, right? You know, because she's grabbing at anything. Grabbing chairs and shit, trying not, and she was like, yeah. Drags him back to the middle of the floor, picks him up with this hand like this, and with this hand, boop, checks the oil. And I was like, oh no! So he rolls over. checks the oil means finger in the ass. There you go. Okay. Just a little translation. She was like, check the oil? Yeah, it's okay. Ooh. Yeah. You gotta check the dipstick, you know what I mean? So, and as soon as she did that, he rolled over and he had a look on his face. I was like, oh, there's gonna be a fight. So when he was standing here, all that had just happened. And he looks at her and he goes, I'm gonna fuck you up. She did not look scared at all. She was actually extra calm. She just looked at him and was like, yeah, dude. And they ran at each other. Guys, you understand what's happening, right? They're fucking fighting for real now. It's like the best gift I've ever given to myself ever. Are you kidding? They're running at each other. I'm like, this is bonus time. I didn't pay for this. And he's like, I'm gonna take you down. He was mad. And he ran into her as hard as he could. And he tried to take her down. I'm gonna tell you something right now. He did not. All I can tell you is that when his little body hit hers, she kind of absorbed him for a second, and he disappeared. I was like, where the fuck did he go? And then she just boom, shot him out across the room, and he slid on the floor, and one of my friends ran up to him and was like, that just fucking happened to you! She must have been mad that he challenged her or something. So she goes, you want to see my finishing move? You want me to finish him? And I grew up with Hulk Hogan and Randy the Macho Man Savage. So I was like, you fucking I don't know if she's coming off the top rope or dropping a leg, but I need to see what's going to go down, you know? So she's running at him. And she goes, finish him? And we go, yeah. She goes, finishing move? And we go, yeah. She goes, you want me to finish him? And we go, yeah. And then she sat on his head and we went, no. Guys, his little head disappeared. All you could see were his tiny arms slapping her back like that. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was like a reverse birth. It was fucked up, right? Now, here's when you know you pull a good practical joke. Anybody who pulls them knows the best ones are the ones that continue to pay dividends long after the joke is over. A month and a half after the party, 2 weeks before the wedding, I ran into his dad. His dad goes, you not coming to the wedding? I was uninvited to the wedding, by the way. Totally worth it. I would trade a friend a day for a story like that. Fuck him. We're still friends, but I will tell you, the way he uninvited me was so good. It was a little gift he gave me that he didn't even know he was giving me. But it might be my favorite part. This is how he uninvited me. We're still at the party. She had just got off me, right? And he stands up and he goes, you're not coming to the wedding! Now the other part of the story that I've never been allowed to tell is he developed a nickname that night. Yeah. It's like the worst nickname, but the best one ever. So I almost feel bad saying it out loud. Almost. So he was walking out of the living room, going to the bathroom, I don't know, to drown himself or whatever the fuck he was going to do. He walks by a friend of mine, and my friend goes, damn, man, you look like a glazed donut. So his nickname is Glazed Donut. And he uninvited me to the wedding, so I made all the groomsmen Glazed Donut t-shirts. And when he was walking down the aisle, they were all like, what's up? His mom loved the t-shirt. She was like, it's a cute t-shirt. Can I have one? I was like, fuck yeah, I'll send you a price. So this is, oh, and by the way, the reason he uninvited me was really smart. He uninvited me because he was like, I think you're going to tell everybody at the wedding the story. And I'm like, it's a smart move, yeah. Don't blame me. We're still buddies. He still tries to get me back all the time, but if I pulled a practical joke on you, I am so suspicious of anything. Like if you want to go to lunch, only if it's at my house and you're bringing people I don't know. I don't fucking know those people. They can't come to my house. So, but that's why he uninvited me. So I run into his dad. His dad goes, hey, you're not coming to the wedding? I said, no. And he said, why not? And I said, oh. Tim didn't tell you? And he said, no. And I said, oh. Well, do you got a couple minutes? Sit down. And then his dad used that story as his best man speech at the wedding. Best practical joke ever. All right, let's sing you guys a couple songs and get you out of here, all right?